Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And we can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Uh, I'm drinking some water. And yes, Jack is the same one from yesterday. I know. It is what it is. But hydration is important, so everyone drink your water more than I do. And I also have my cup mug here because, yay, period, period, period. You can get your cup mug. Don't worry, Jack. Just sit right there. Don't you move. Don't you move. It's okay. It's okay. We
I
wouldn't have
just
had a
did.
panel.
I just did the
We,
dishes.
it's okay. We wouldn't have had a panel full of cup mugs anyway because we have sugar. So it's okay. But you can get your cup mug or any of our beautiful cup merch LanaG'sCreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. So there are no excuses. Get your merch, period.
Hello, my name is Jack. I am the resident game designer of the panel, and you mustn't not never take no taxis. And if you're confused by that, just ask Victoria Kern Mitchell. You'll figure it out.
Mhm.
And I just have some lovely vanilla peppermint tea, iced.
Love that for you.
When y'all were mad, when we all were mad that Scott and Laura got eliminated, this is how I'm feeling with this episode. I am Brandon, your professional fangirl of Monster Dragon video games. As always, I'm drinking water out of my Stanley, and yes, I'm still doing my lead, but that's all.
That's it.
Well, hello guys, it's your favorite Black queer content creator, KaMorian, aka Sparkling Alien. Just got done drinking some Powerade. My throat is very dry, so I needed some cool drink.
Mhm.
You know, we all make mistakes, but I'm not misreading the instructions. I'm like, well, well, that was a big mistake, honey.
Rule number one. Rule number one.
Hi, all. My name is Sugar Free. I'm the diabetic fairy of Los Angeles. It's my first time talking about The Amazing Race ever. I've been watching on and off since childhood, honestly. Like, I remember the Total guys winning The Amazing Race, like the hippies that
I
lost
do
all their
too.
money, got two non-elimination legs, and like borrowed money from strangers and I'm like, the early thousands was a lot
Listen,
calmer of a time. I don't I don't know if they could get away with all that nowadays. Actually, no, you can if there's a bunch of camera people following you around, then people are willing to do nice things on camera. But it's been exciting. I mainly watch this because it is the one reality show my mom watches, and I will hold on to that relationship. Fun fact: there was a Danny and his mom, I think from last
yes.
season,
Yes.
was
Yes.
me and my mom's favorite team, and we bonded over an amazing gay son and his mom. And I met him at the Bryce and Wendell Survivor event this season. And I tell him
Hmm.
this story. I was like, we just so bonded over you, a gay man, bond with your mother. He's like, thank you so much. I'm not gay.
He's not.
No,
He's not. He's
no.
not.
No. Hey, but we talked about it. He was like, yes, many people
Many people have said it before.
Oh
show
no.
me to be just a little. I also see it in the edit for myself. And I was like, wait, does that mean that people come up to your mom and go, yeah, you're really supportive of your case?
Oh man. Oh
Um,
no.
So
I
Danny is my favorite Amazing Race player.
Yes,
that is
and that's
so
on
lo-
period.
So cool. We just cracked up about it. It was amazing. I'm also in
Danny's great.
full drag, so I was like expecting the gayest moment, and it was just like, ah.
No. Fun fact, I played games with Danny before online and so with and watched him play online, and I got to meet him also this year in Orlando, and like bonded, spent the most like it was like, oh, we played together, oh, we watched each other play, and now we get to meet. And his mom, great, Angie's amazing, Danny's amazing, but his dad is the greatest. When I tell you, me and David spent like 15, 20 minutes just talking to his dad about everything under the sun at this event. It was so good. His dad's amazing. That's just a great family. They're just a great group of people, and I love them. We talked about them so much last season. So I
I
love
was
that for you.
I was like, that's a fun anecdote. I have to say that here.
I love that for you. And I love that you thought Danny was gay, and he was like, no.
No, no, but he was like, I
But
really understand why you
but I
thought
get
I
it.
was.
A lot of people have said it, but anyway, we are here talking about The Amazing Race, episode 8. And I don't know if I changed these banners, but I'll do it in between time. Um, I don't know, episode 8, and it was a great episode. We're still in Bulgaria. Everything was good. Everything was fun. Whoever's changing it for me, thank you. Because here, Jack, I saw you. Thank you. We're talking, and they're leaving one part of Bulgaria, going to the next part of Bulgaria, and I'm like, okay, cool. I did not take all of my notes, so I know Jack and between Jack, Brandon, they will have my back on these places and all the things we've gone because I did not take the notes and I didn't pull them up. So we're gonna just fly by the seat of our pants, pants, pants. Um, so they leave. Still going to Bulgaria in Bulgaria, but going to another part of to Sofia. I want to say it was Sofia, Bulgaria. They were going to.
Correct.
Uh-huh. See, I know some things. So they went to Sofia, and they had this was okay. Okay, wait before we do it because we got to do all the things. Subscribe to this channel, do all the things. We're trying to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. Please help us out. Subscribe all over to this channel and all over the Cup Network, Cup for Drag Race, for Eurovision Song Contest, and for WWE Wrestling. We have a channel for you as well. So subscribe to this channel, all those other channels. Follow us on our audio podcast links if you need to check us out on the go. Follow us, join our Patreon, and then follow us on all of our socials. Do all the things to say you support us because we really appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Now, this leg. I've watched Amazing Race all of my since it started. I've been watching Amazing Race, and these are the legs that bother me the most because it's root info after root info after root info after root info after root info to a roadblock, and I'm like, hello. And then you have something in the middle that's not a detour, but just another route, just a challenge thrown in just for you to do stuff. And that bothers me because I'm like, I'm used to my pattern of route info, detour or roadblock, another route info, then whichever one we didn't do before, it's that afterwards. And then we get to the pit stop. I'm so sick of these. Go to this place and get your next food. Okay, then go to this place and get your next food. Okay, and then go to this place and get your next. Hello. Can we just tell me what to do next? Like I need an activity to do, except all this running from one place to the next place to the next place to the next place to do nothing but get another clue. Like, hell, come on. I didn't enjoy the leg for that and for all of that, but I enjoyed everything that happened in the leg, if that even makes sense.
No, I get it. I get it. It again, I agree in a sense. However, like it does kind of like give them the chance to actually like give them like something to do that's not like a choice because like they actually have to do it. Because after the detour last week, they were probably like, you know what? Let's just give them a break.
I get that.
So the Amazing Race inherently is about choice, and I do think this kind of strips it away because we have the choice of a detour being, would you like to do task A or task B? You have a roadblock where you're assigning which your partners to do a task. And here it's, you are both going to do this task. you are both going to do this task. You are both going to do this task. And it does scream to me as a little odd. I mean, obviously, this like does feel like, and I've said it a couple times before, like one half of a detour fell through, because comparing the river plunge, which is like a couple seconds, and that kind of route info I really like, because it's something really quick, it's very fast, compared to crack a whole cipher, and that feels so much longer and so much heavier for something that teams cannot skip. It is very strange, especially because no other part of the leg really has that kind of task that they have to complete. It's find a shop that doesn't typically look like a shop, jump in a river. So honestly, it had to have been something falling through, and they're like, well, we have one location, we have all this stuff prepared, we can't just not do it. So I think that's unfortunately just how it went. And the structure of this leg as well, and just like physically mapping it out, it makes sense that something went wrong. I did really enjoy all of the tasks, though.
Right.
All the tasks were really good. You can just tell that something happened.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed all of the individual tasks. I wish that there was, I don't know, it feels strange that the river jumping in was such a literal, do this thing, now you're done. There wasn't any sort of twist on it to add a little bit of, you need to game slightly in order to figure out how to successfully do it. It was like any human with any level of intelligence could do that. So it's crazy that they did that. And then the next they went, okay, find an impossible shop and then crack an impossible code, unless you've done escape rooms and you can think to turn this around.
Thinking over.
It felt the most like, just, I hate to say the word, it felt like chores almost, as opposed to like a competition game show.
Yeah.
But I liked them all individually. It just felt like the string connecting them was so just like a straight piece of string.
Yeah. It didn't make much sense to me, and I was kind of I didn't enjoy the way it played out, but I enjoy watching it play out, which it's crazy. But we see. Go ahead.
Sorry. Well, I was gonna say, what was so weird for me watching the episode was because the teams were so staggered in their times. It was like we saw first place cross the finish line before last place even got to a certain challenge. It was like 3 challenges before the finish line.
And that is a testament to like how they placed coming in the last episode. Like we saw Alyssa and Josiah leave at 7:34 in the morning, and then the next people to leave after them, Brett and Mark, left at 8:10. So they had a really good chunky lead before them. And then Jonathan and Anna left at 8:33. Not too bad. Sean and Holden leaves at 9:47, which is almost another hour behind them. And then Melinda and Erica leaves at 10:06. Not that bad. But then Carson and Jack leaves at 11:15, a whole hour after Melinda and Erica. And so they left so staggered. So I'm like, does Carson and Jack even have a chance to catch up in this if everybody stays on track and if everybody does everything the right way? Do they even have a chance? But when we started seeing how the things were playing out and what they were asked to do, like the first row info, they had to go to Lake Ariana and they had to do the whole ceremonial thing where they get blessed and then the priest throws the cross into the water. And like you said, it takes a second to go down there, grab the cross and get out. But so I was like, okay, well, if everybody does that, that's gonna be quick and easy. But we do have the wrench of the express pass was thrown into it, which Josiah and Alyssa definitely took, which of course, why wouldn't you? You leave first, you go for the express pass. Like I would have did it. Jack, you wouldn't have done it. You would have just said, no, thank you.
No, I would, but this is another major problem that we've seen throughout this
Yes.
whole race is that these twists are so cool. And then they screw it up by basically making it so that the only team that can realistically go for this task is the first team that leaves.
Yeah.
No other team had any reason to think that they had a shot at getting it because they read the task and went,
Oh no.
oh, this takes 30 seconds. There's no need for us to even try and go for it.
And they know everybody left up 30 minutes or to an hour before they did. So it was like, there's no point for me to go after this. We know everybody after Josiah and Alyssa knew they went for it. Like, it was like, they went for it. No question about it. So why do we waste our time? And that task was 30 minutes out of the way. They still had to go and do everything, but that task was 30 minutes out of the way. So they had to waste 30 minutes, go do that thing, and then go back to the city to do all the rest of the task. And it was just time consuming and probably wouldn't have been wise for anyone to do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now the thing is, because like I'm so used to them winning the express pass at the end of the leg. I'm so used to that. Like not in the middle of leg, but like at the end of the leg, because that's what I'm used to. So, I mean, hey, like they were able to do something. Like, I mean, this express pass task though, I wouldn't say it was even that hard, like at all.
No,
Really wasn't.
no.
It's like the
I
thing
mean,
that it's like corporates do that for fun, like on a work retreat. Like it's
it's
not like
mind over
a
matter. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go and walk real fast. It's gonna hurt for a second, but I'm gonna get across. They had to walk on fire, and it's like we've seen them do this task before for an express pass or from other things. So it's not a hard task to do. It's just you got to psych yourself up to do it because as we saw, Josiah was he did not like this. He was not in here for it. He was like, I don't want to do it, but we here, we drove 30 minutes out the way. We gonna do it. We just gonna do it. And Alyssa walks across that thing seconds. Josiah was like, okay, all right. And he
Hot
does it.
sand, hot sand.
Hot sand, hot
Mhm.
sand, hot sand. I'm like, sure. I wouldn't want to burn my feet up, but baby, if it's to get the express pass and it's gonna do 2 seconds of being hot, like you've walked on a hot beach before, you can walk on these coals. It's okay. It's about the same thing, and you get done. But they finished it very quickly. Got the express pass. Good on y'all. Woo.
Mhm.
Uh, they get it, and now they have to go join everybody else and do all the other tasks. And like we've seen people, they just go in the water, pick their cross
Mhm.
up, and they out. Everybody, and by the time Josiah and Alyssa gets to the water, they're still third. That's how crazy the times were. They're still third by the time they get to the water, which is insane. So after whoopsies,
Ooh, okay.
yep, not me knocking over everything. Oh, that's what we do here. And you think I'm cutting that out? Nope. It's just gonna be there. It's just going to be there. Not cutting it out in the slightest.
Oh, and you're
Not-
muted.
I muted myself too. So then we do go to after they leave Lake Ariana, they have to take this is what they learn. You cannot take a taxi. Cannot take a taxi. Cannot. And I stress it enough. You cannot take a taxi. And Melinda and Erica saw you can take a taxi. You must take a taxi. That's the only mode of transportation you got is to take a taxi. Don't get on that bus. Don't get on the train. You can only take a taxi. And
Oh,
I was like,
Jesus.
oh my God, oh my God,
cut
oh
to
my
her
God.
20 minutes later saying, I've gotten so much better at
So
reading the clues.
Oh,
when
Jesus.
she said that, I was like, oh God, famous last words, honey, because
Like,
you just,
dang.
oh my
I
God,
physically said, Erica, no.
screamed.
No.
I am going to put a
Yes.
pin in this because I did the calculations for how bad of a read this was, and it's
I,
horrible. It is a
I
bad decision.
I literally scream and like I try not to watch get into our group chat before because I
Mhm.
watch it the next day. So when y'all was typing away, I was like, oh, something happened. Because they in there going off. They popping off in this chat. What is happening? I'm not gonna look at it. I ain't gonna look at it. So then today when I watched it, and I was like, oh God, Erica, no. And the first message I hit was Brandon. Erica, no. I was like, jeez. No. Rule number one in Amazing Race is to read your clue thoroughly. Thoroughly. And she just oh, I said, oh well, I know what's happening. From the second she said you must get in the cab, I was like, oh, they lost. Oh, they
You
lost.
must get in the cab is crazy.
I said they lost because, and this was without the calculations. Like I didn't know what the penalty. I thought the penalty could probably be what Amazing Race typical penalty would be, like 4 hour penalty. That's their typical. Like if you mess up something or you do something, you're gonna have a 4 hour penalty. So I'm like, yeah, Jack and Carson is behind, but they ain't gonna be 4 hours behind. So that is not going to happen. So they lost. They lost. Okay. But then Jack puts in the chat about how the time actually would have worked and how it was going to be, the penalty would be according to how much of an advantage they had by taking the cabs. And so I was like, trying to do my little in my brain calculations, which turned out to be totally wrong, by the way. Uh, but then could it maybe? No, they still probably lost. They still probably would have
Yeah,
lost.
It is a good
Jack, please.
30 minutes plus whatever time difference they would have by taking a cab, which in this leg is weird because it's specifically just outlawing that and it's not super specific. But we'll talk about it at the end. It's bad. It is bad. And Lana, your original estimate of 4 hours is closer than you'd want
Closer than
to
I
be.
would have wanted to be. Absolutely. Because I was like, yeah, it's
Now,
crazy.
here's the thing. So whenever people don't read their clue, because I remember this vividly in season 17, if they were to break one part of like the leg, they would just accrue a 30-minute penalty. That's all that would happen. So because of that instance of that one rule that you cannot take a taxi, and in this instance that Melinda and Erica did, they would have just got a 30-minute penalty right to get to the pit stop. That's what would have happened, I believe.
Right. And if they would have caught it, went back to where they were, and then said, okay, now we'll start over and not take a cab, they would have canceled out that penalty. But the fact that they did not catch it and they continued to take a cab, they continued to add 30 minutes upon 30 minutes upon 30 minutes on their time, as well as how much time they had an advantage over everybody walking, running, taking the bus or the train. So all of that time just acute on top of everything. And it was so frustrating because we love Melinda and Erica here at this house. We were fans of Melinda and Erica. And I was like, no, girl, no. Not this way. Not this way. Like if you gonna go out, don't go out because you didn't read the clue properly. You just lost. You got outran. You got lost, and it's something else. Directions, not because you didn't read the clue. And you were just like they had the easiest day in Bulgaria, jumping in cabs, going from place to place. Everybody else is tired, worn out because they running. Josiah and Alyssa ran everywhere. They hardly got on the bus. I think they got on the bus once or twice, but they ran everywhere. And I was like, that's nuts. Crazy. But after the whole jumping in the water, they now have to go to the clack shop.
The Kleck shop, yes.
The Kleck shop at the Russian Monument Square to find their next clue. Now I don't know about y'all. I might ask y'all a question because my blind behind would have passed that done Kleck shop 15 times before I would have even thought that was the place that it was supposed to be. I would have. That's who's looking at that. First of all, that tiny little thing at the top, that big. Ain't nobody looking at that mark as a marker. And then it's just I would have passed that thing 15 times. I was like frustrated, like, where's the stupid Kleck shop? What is a Kleck shop? I'm gonna ask everyone, excuse me, what's a Kleck shop? what is a collect shop? Because I have no idea what it is. And it is literally like shop that looks like it's just a wall of graffiti. They just looked like it was a wall of graffiti. That would have frustrated me to no end.
What was it?
No.
There was a team that was like, "Oh, look, the AR and the 37." I'm like, "What do you mean?"
What? What do you mean? What do you mean? Never would have
That's
saw
so
that.
good.
I would have
Never.
not
See
have
that.
gone that
I
because
would not.
because to me, like, of course, I got Amazing Race fashion. You gotta find everything red and yellow. So
Mhm,
I mean
mhm.
that could have been my indicator. Now, because the collect shop is hidden, you wouldn't have known like that would be the collect shop because it's like a hidden door. Because like when they the backstory behind a collect shop is it used to be like a shelter of sorts. And then when they converted from communism to capitalism, they were able to convert that into a shop, and that's why it's called Kleck. So now
love history.
the wildest thing is when Carson and Jack ran into the
The woodworker.
You were top red friend has legs.
and
Wild.
Has it ever happened where they just run
No.
into someone?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh,
No, that is so good. Like this man is just living his regular daily life, like he normally get on the bus and go to work or whatever he's doing.
He's like, "I have an audition in 10."
Right, like not thinking he was gonna run into the same people who he just told to cut the wood and get some more wood and bring it. That's crazy. But
And
that's the Amazing Race.
yeah, and I'm so glad that Carson Jack like, so what's a collect shop? And then of course explained it really well. So collect means they have to bend down and then have to find the shop to get there. So I was like, that is a nice touch. Like I'm glad that like they were able to like ask that, even though they were still confused on where it was.
It was so crazy to me to see
mhm.
that, but I would have never looked in that place. But people eventually found it. We saw some people find it faster than others, and then some people just running past it back and forth, like Melinda and Erica. I think they ran past it like 3, 4 times. And Melinda was
Yep.
like, "I think it's right here," and Erica like, "No, it's not here. You don't listen to me, Mom. Why don't you listen to me?" I was like, you need to listen to your mother because you just
Because she
passed it
was
like three
right.
times. She was
She was
right.
right.
She was right. And then when she found out she was right, okay, Mom, you're right. I'm like, yes.
Like I said.
You're right. She was right. That's just what it is.
I mean, but they
But
passed that shop like probably like 5 times until like they realized. I was like, oh wait, so it is there, but where is it? And then they were like, oh.
the thing is to me though, I do not want to work in no collect shop because I would feel like, why am I sitting underground and then these doors gotta open and uh,
I
that
gotta
lady
find the
just was
part
like,
to do.
Also,
hey.
the fact that they every time they open the door, just like this angelic choir, I was just like, what is this editing?
What's this sound effects for?
They bought a good sample pack and they had to use it somehow. They hadn't found a good place to use it yet.
Probably.
I guess. But
But I also like it just casually every single time. It's like great. Close the door. We're inside a couple times, like as the camera, and like it is pitch black. So like
yeah. Is it lights in there? Is she just in there in the
probably
dark?
there has to be.
No, there
It
are
has,
lights.
it has to be.
I think it was like whenever like a team is approaching, like they get ready to like be like, oh, that's where you are. So, which makes
Right.
sense. So, but yeah.
But we do see that the teams did have to make their way to St. Kilmet Central Library at Sophia University to find their next clue. And that's not where the clue is. And then once they get there, they have to go and they have to translate 2 book pages of Cyrillic to English using a cipher before receiving their next clue.
Mhm.
Now, this clue, I'm gonna ask y'all because I need y'all's opinion. I need y'all's your who on here on this panel would have been able to figure out that done cipher quickly. You know how to look behind that it was behind it, and
I
that's the
used to
thing.
work at an escape room. You always look behind everything.
I currently
Um,
work at an escape room. You always look behind things. If something
work at the
doesn't make
escape game?
sense, you I have played there multiple times. But
I just think personally, in general, everywhere, like anything you do in this race, you look for everything, look for any kind of clue. So, person, I would have looked like, oh, is it under here? So technically, I would have been like an obvious thing to do. So I was like, why are they not looking behind the things? Like I didn't. It was kind of like crazy that they did not flip it over at least to like, oh, it's under here. So
I would have
I,
opened that book and looked under the book, but I don't know if I would have looked under the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
No,
they were
because
looking
like
around
for me, no, because for me, because like yes, the cipher was there, but I would have thought that they would have gotten like some type of booklet to like look through that as well, because
True.
the way that it moves, because there's like 3 different layers. So with with those layers, it's just like you would think that one along line would they give you like this booklet, but the fact that it was behind is actually
Right.
kind of smart. So I wouldn't have picked it up if I'll be honest.
I wouldn't have. I would have been sitting there like, I don't know what this is. Would have been so stuck. But hearing that you are both who worked in escape rooms makes sense. And I'm gonna keep that in my brain every time when I do decide to go on the maze race. Look under everything. Like just look under everything. Like, okay. Because that's wild to me. I
What's
would have
that?
never done it.
Was it Josiah and Alyssa that said we practiced at escape rooms
Yes.
and they
Yes.
still didn't do it?
They didn't do it
And
right.
still didn't do.
it.
Alyssa was straight up on a ladder looking outside
Outside.
The
to figure
window.
something else
Where is
out.
it? Where
and
is
just,
it?
like,
Help me.
and,
I
like,
remember that
I
being like
get
the
it.
answer in Taskmaster once, but
They were
It was
Granted,
so
yeah.
out.
it was so crazy because first to see Brett and Mark. That's hold on. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Brett and Mark get in there first and they
Mhm.
doing it and they trying to figure it out. Of course they stressing like I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, let's look under it. There it is. They did it so quickly. Once they figured it out, they did it so quickly. Jack, if I go on Amazing Race, would you go with me? Okay, thank you. Or you, Sugar, because y'all are the smart ones to figure out to look
I'm
under
like
stuff.
part of 3 different threatened Amazing Race teams at this
Right.
point on this podcast. I have you and me. I have me and Logan. I have me and Brooke. Like at this point, I'm just gonna
Whoever
get
gets on
dragged on the
first.
show, and it's gonna be like, who am I playing with?
Whoever gets there first. And your best bet is me, because diversity and everything is,
Mhm.
Mhm.
But
Not
no,
gonna deny that.
you're right. But no, I was like, once they figured it out, once they looked underneath it and saw, okay, the translation is but I'm gonna be honest, all I would have needed, me personally, in the beginning, I would have been like, it was the word was God. Because I know that scripture
Mhm.
offhand. Like all you would have had to tell me in the beginning, and I'm like, oh, this is the scripture. Got it. In the beginning it was
Mhm.
the word was with God, the word was with God. Okay, got it. Like,
Mhm.
because that's embedded in me. So I would have saw that and like, oh, okay. And I don't have to finish the rest of it. Especially if I see and the word was God. Oh, let's go, check it out. But it was so fun to see them first struggling and then figuring it out. And then it comes like that. It's just like, oh, I love how puzzles work that way, huh?
also huge kudos to Jonathan and Anna, a presence where Jonathan is a big, but the fact
Yeah.
that they were able to just very discreetly do the switching under to the fact where people sitting behind them were
Did
able to not even see it. Like, no offense, Jack and Carson were really sloppy when they were doing it later. Because they
Yeah.
had a
Yes.
disadvantage, and they were
Well,
just like,
they tried their best, so it's just like
it was really, no, I disagree because
No, they
Jonathan and
did
Anna's
not.
was
They did
so
not
much
try to.
slicker.
Right. Jonathan says, okay. And then he puts it back down. And then he picks it back up right in front of him. Okay. Like that. Carson and Jack was like, here it is. It's right up here.
No,
It's
literally,
like,
this is
and
how
mine
it
was
is.
like,
This
he
pause. I
was
think
he
I was
like,
like,
oh,
oh,
it's
it's under.
underneath it.
Mhm.
It's like, I don't know how,
Mess.
well, it was crazy. It was
But
crazy.
the most flack, sorry to Melinda and Erica, who didn't recognize any of the fucking buffoonery happening next to them from either
No,
team.
literally, because it
They
was so
saw nothing.
funny to
They
I was
think
they
like,
just straight up submit like
just
letters.
letters.
that
MTKONRO. I was
Which
like,
okay,
girl,
the librarian
And
was
what?
that guy
like,
was just waiting for him to be like, for them to
No.
stop and just be like,
No.
"No, what the
No.
hell?"
What?
Like, I
Now,
would have
to
laughed.
be
I would have
fair,
Now,
laughed.
granted,
I would have laughed. It would have been hilarious. I would have laughed at them. I would have laughed.
granted,
fair,
I have
what,
had that
Brandon?
exact experience so many times with someone like submitting a puzzle answer, and me going, "In what world do you think that is possibly right?"
Oh,
I
you
mean,
will never have a true appreciation for the average man's psyche until you work at an escape room and watch people fail things that 8-year-olds pick up on.
Oh, jeez.
now, mind you, like a scramble of letters doesn't dawn on me when it comes to like puzzles in a way, because like I mean, it could like be part of like a lock per se, like. But at the same time, like I do agree, like with y'all, because in escape rooms, the lock actually has a word to it. So
It's
The
just
lock
crazy.
has a word on it or something related. Otherwise, you're in a bad escape room and you need to leave.
that part.
But then after you get your cipher, you get the cipher, you figure it out, you know the description, you tell it to the man, he gives you a clue, and you're on your way to the Museum of Socialist Art, because that's in the sculpture garden is where you would again find your next clue. Because we didn't have enough rope infos. Um, after they get that clue, then you have to go and make your way to the Central Military Club.
Mhm.
And finally, and then that's when you get another clue, by the way. Another clue.
Can I
Promise
actually
this.
I need to skip that clue and use my express pass and get out of
Ah,
here.
Wow.
I didn't
well,
was recording this today, so thank you so much for having me. Keep hating on people and cheering them on. All right.
bye, sugar.
My
This is the first time my express pass has been used against us,
Mm.
and I kind of don't like it. You know,
I
Aw.
don't like. You know what I also don't like? This whole location is so weird for this entire thing. Just to be clear, like Lake Ariana's here, the
mm-hmm,
Russian Monument Park is here,
mm-hmm,
the Central Military Club's here, the library is here. The Socialist Art Museum is like 30 minutes in that direction. Like
mm-hmm.
it's so far away from the entire rest of this leg that it makes no sense why they're going to it. Genuinely, like I have a picture pulled up. It is every other thing in a line. And then the art museum is over here. I genuinely can't understand why they even use the Socialist Art Museum here.
Mhm.
It wasn't a very. It wasn't a very time. It was a very time consuming leg, I will say.
Mhm.
It was just very spread out all over the place for really no reason other than to make people walk and take the bus and use the public transportation for the longest amount of time, and a cab if you don't read right. Um, and it was just that situation to do that, but it just didn't. But then they finally after 7 root infos gets them to a roadblock. And the roadblock, who wants to step back in time? And as soon as I saw what this roadblock was, I was like, okay, ain't nobody bringing Brett and Mark in this. Either one of them could do this.
Baby.
I said either one of them could do this, and nobody's going to outdo them.
No
They're
one is
not going to go
passing
No,
this
fast enough.
over.
no,
This
I was
leg has
like,
ended.
no, I like as soon as Mark saw what they're doing, I was like, he's doing this in one take. All he needed was just one
One
take to do it. He
take
was
is
like,
all
so
he
it's like this,
needs.
it's like this. Okay, let's go.
I
Literally,
was like,
literally eating it up in one take. I was like, wow, oh my god, you gotta slay my life, Mark. Slay my freaking life. The way he like, I'm saying like he's a professional dancer, but the way he adapts to it, like for all like the different like performance times you have to see, like the way he's like able to adapt so quickly of what the performance challenge is, so quickly actually do like right on the first attempt. Like it's insane. Like he is talented. That man
If
is
if
talented.
he didn't do it on the first try, I would have looked at him sideways. I would have been like, "What
Hmm.
kind of professional dancer are you?" Like, if he
Exactly.
wouldn't have got it that way, that fast, and that quickly, I would have been like, "Mm-mm, I don't,
Hmm.
you need to
I
go back to some classes." But he kind of ate that up. He was
He
Oh
like,
ate
"Okay,
yeah.
that
one."
up.
When
He
he
said,
with
"1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, let's try it." I was like,
and also this was a dance that literally the only thing you needed to move was your legs.
"Yeah,
Exactly.
Your
Mhm.
arms were not there. You did not need your facial expressions. Literally, it was just your legs and making sure you were grabbing onto the two people next to you.
Hmm.
I don't
you
think they
would."
could have given them an easier task.
But there is no way you could do that dance and not have the facial expressions of joy, because that
Hmm.
dance is so full of joy anyway. So as
Yeah.
you jumping around and bouncing around, you can be like, you smiling, you laughing because it's just what you're doing. And then all you really had to do was count to four. And remember, 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Foot, 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 and back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. Like, it was all in fours. So if you can count to four and remember
Hmm.
the segments on which you do 1 foot 4 times, 1 foot 4 times, front 4 times, front 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got it, and it was so simple. But I knew Mark and Brett, whichever one did it, I was like, they finna eat this up. It's about to be
Oh, yeah,
done.
Mark. This was in Mark's wheelhouse because he's like, I love a
Hmm.
routine, and
Right.
Hmm.
routine it was.
Mhm.
So
And it
Hmm.
was. But you know who else I was impressed by? Anna. Because she
And
said,
I.
she was like, we met in salsa dancing, and I used to just watch people to figure out how to do it, so I can watch them and figure it out. She tried it. She was like, okay, let me do it this one time with the music so I can get a hear of what it's gonna be. She messed up the first time. She's like, okay, now I got it. Let's go back one quick. And when she came back, she looked so smooth doing it. Like, she looked like she was Mark's other partner because she looked just as smooth. Like, we saw Josiah do it, and he kind of looked a little, giving the typical white guy, like, I'm thinking about it, I'm getting it though, but I'm thinking about it, but I'm getting it though. She
Hmm.
looked like I got, like, she'd been doing it forever, and I was
mhm.
so impressed by her. It
Yeah,
was
she
beautiful.
she had the best smile. Like, and I was
Oh,
like, oh my
I love
god,
her
like I
smile.
I wish I could see
Mhm.
that smile like the entire race for
I
her.
think this was the most joyous she probably has ever felt on this race,
Free.
just freeing in that moment, just doing something that he couldn't ruin. He couldn't ruin.
No, because
He
he
couldn't ruin it for her.
no, because they would have
He
been
just
there
gets the
for a
vibe
long
for like a
time if it
good
wasn't him.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Like,
then yeah, and then Melinda, she did it in one take. Like,
she did it good.
Melinda ate that. I'm like,
Well, I think
wow.
we only saw one take. I don't know if she
Mm,
did it in one take, but I think they only showed us one take because
mhm.
it was over at that
Yeah,
It
point.
was
It
already
It was
was
over.
over.
very
but
over.
she did very good. I'm like,
But she
wow,
did really
Melinda is good.
well.
No, I'm so impressed with Melinda just doing a lot of things. Like you think about for her age, like she's not capable of doing, but she is doing it at the age that she is. Like it's so inspirational to see
Mhm.
a strong mother like that. So I was like, wow, Melinda, you killed the girl. And I think also I think the same way like where I think it was Jack and Holden. I think they messed up one time, then the second time they got together. So it pretty much it was an easy task. It was easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Holden did it. And what impressed me the most with Holden is he did it. He messed up. He said, okay, let's do it right back. He walked away and came right back. He didn't go practice again. He was like, I'm gonna just do it right now. And he got it. He was like, I had it. It's just one little thing messed me up, but I got it. I got it. So
Hmm.
it was good to see that. And I was like, okay, cool, cool, Holden. But we do see, like you said, you weren't coming, you weren't going to catch Brett and Mark. You just weren't going to
No,
catch
you
them.
really weren't.
You just weren't going to catch them once they got that. Once they were there first, you just weren't going to catch them. And then coming in second was Alyssa and Josiah.
Hmm.
And then Anna and Jonathan came in right at the same time, really pretty much with Alyssa and Josiah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And then in fourth place, coming from started from the bottom and now they here in fourth place was Jack and Carson because they passed two teams up in the cipher. It's just wild. Coming in fifth place was Han and Holden, leaving
Melinda and Erica.
Melinda and Erica. Oh,
Oh, this was brutal. I mean,
I hated every bit of this.
so
Hated it. I hated it. So, Jack, give us the numbers, crunch the numbers that you've been putting the pin in.
Melinda and Erica took taxis instead of doing walking, buses. I'm 99% sure that Jack and Carson also got on a train, so the metro,
Correct,
so
yes.
that was allowed. So the number of the actual penalty is really weird because of that, because it's really uncertain how they'd apply it. The best possible scenario, the worst. So, worst possible scenario. If you are banned from doing anything but walking, this leg is a 3.5 hour walk or just about 9 miles. So that's a 4-hour penalty, no matter what, which means they're screwed. And the best possible estimate, and this is me going off of 10 a.m. there on a Thursday, because we have no idea on their time, their best possible estimate with using every sort of public transport possible, excluding cars, is just about an hour and a half. So between 2 hours and 4 hours for the penalty, no matter what, they go home.
Yep.
Because they screw up and misread a clue as must instead of must not, their game is over on the spot.
Yep.
And that sucks to see.
Sucks.
But, I mean, I'm not going to complain about Jack and Carson coming back from like a 3-hour deficit twice.
Mm-hmm.
Twice.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely can't explain it. It's incredible.
I mean, when Phil is like speechless to see them at the mat, he's like, I did not think you all would do this. And this has to be the greatest rebound ever in Amazing Race history. Like, they ate that up. And it was kind of like, I can't be mad at that. Like I said, Jack and Carson are great. They probably would have been my particular favorites, but I like them. I think they are just proving why I think they're getting a winner edit in this situation, which is like, whoa.
They probably are.
It's wild, but
It's likely.
it's likely. But they are eating it up. I'm not mad at them.
Mhm.
I'm very happy for them. They did great, but we did see Melinda and America just leave. Like you said, they didn't have a chance. Once they misread the clue, it was pretty
Yeah.
much a done deal for
It
them.
was over at that
It was
point.
pretty much a done deal.
Yeah.
So for everybody going on Amazing Race or wanting to go on Amazing Race, please read your clue thoroughly. Thoroughly. Read it twice.
Read it 3 times. Read it every
Mhm.
single time you're about to get into transport. If you think you saw the word must, reread it. Because maybe on this read, you actually see it's must not, or a different type of transportation.
Right. Please read. Please read your clues.
And
But-
Lana and I will be following that information when we go on to Amazing Race 38. And then Logan and I will be following it when we do Amazing Race 39. And then Brooke and I will be following it on Amazing Race 40.
You gotta win $1
And
million
then on
with
Amazing
me, so we
Race
don't have to worry about it.
41, it's literally going to be a rotating table of 3, and every single leg I get a new person.
Not that.
Mhm.
I mean, if like me and my best friend are still gonna try to audition, which I really want to, so we'll see.
We shall see.
And then they'll have you back for All Stars, and then they'll say, Jack, you have to pick which partner you want.
And I'm going to leave on the spot because I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I
I mean,
don't
it
need
could have
that
been.
drama,
I mean,
to
it
be
could have been a
real honest.
24 scenario where they gave someone a different partner in the middle of the at the start of the race. So
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
because
Yeah.
a partner had to drop out last minute, and
Correct.
Yeah.
it just worked out.
Mhm.
But
Huh.
there is a certain thing called a draft.
Mhm.
I had a
And
high and a low, literally.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
that kind of yeah. But Brandon, you still look. You got a really good one. If you go hold on to one
And
in
the
the
fact that they
green,
were my
it's a
third
really good
choice.
one. Crazy. You
Mhm.
gotta yeah. This is gonna be. It's still wide open. I really believe
Mm-hmm.
that this race is open and things change on a dime.
Yes.
So we never really know what is going to happen in this race, and it kind of
Yeah.
is exciting to me. It excites me to know that we we still don't know. It could be
We
anybody.
still don't
We
know.
still don't know,
It really
and,
does.
and I love it. I love it. I'm excited, but that is
Genuinely, all 5 of these teams have a shot. And that's
Yes.
it's going to be
Mhm.
the part that sucks the most of like, oh, well, I guess that team had to screw up this leg, or one bad
mhm,
call, or
Yeah.
one bad person on a roadblock.
mhm,
But this is a
Mhm.
strong final 5.
a strong
Yeah.
five.
Definitely.
I mean,
Definitely.
we did see this leg again that Han and Holden were bickering again. So
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Uh-huh.
this could be their downfall, and I'm not excited.
Mhm.
But
And
I
then the
will.
fact that
Yeah.
Jonathan and Anna actually had a pretty good leg.
They really did.
Mm-hmm.
They really did, even after Jonathan randomly complained at the start of the leg.
I'm
Oh,
like,
we didn't. Oh,
I'm
we
like,
started too late. We don't even get into shot and express pass. Our bad luck continues. Shut up. Shut up.
someone give him the duct tape when he wakes up. Just duct in his mouth. So he
Right.
get
Just
no, I'm like, God dang, y'all just started the lag. Why the negativity? Well, it's me. Stop out of it. Like, just stop it out. Like, please.
my
Like,
God.
Snap out of it.
it was like, oh my goodness. But I will say, as far as like consistency, I think Brett and Mark has gotten stronger over the past couple episodes. I feel it has been the strongest leg yet, as like communication wise. So I like what Brett says. Like, you know what? And like I've had like how well we did, but so I'm not like, I'm not gonna be like play it too safely. I'm not gonna be like, like we're
Correct.
good. I'm gonna make sure we're still on top of it every way through. So I like that.
Mhm. I
Hey,
do, and
mhm.
yeah, and Josiah and Alyssa has really impressed me, and they got that express pass, so we cannot
Hmm.
count them out. If they use it correctly, they could get back to the pit stop way before anybody else. On the next, well, whenever they decide to use it, but
I believe it was before between leg 10. So within the next 2
two
legs,
legs, yeah,
Hmm.
which
Mhm.
is not bad for a
not
late
bad.
game pass.
No, it's
Like
not.
that gets
Yes.
you to final 4 or final 3. I
Yeah,
Mhm.
think I think if you run the numbers, you might be able to tell that something is going to be up relatively soon.
yeah,
Correct.
You
I
think the
but
mega leg
mean,
is happening?
who knows? Because like we're in Naples next week,
yeah, we're Naples.
and then they're in France, somewhere in France, and
So
then
it
they're
has.
in Portugal.
I
So
want
it
to
has.
say they are actually in Paris,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
So
then we
I
are in.
Mhm.
And if you don't want a direct spoiler to what probably is going to happen within the next 2 to 3 weeks, don't look at the Amazing Race wiki, because it directly tells you.
yep, it does. It
Mhm.
it it, it
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
does. I
I
looked
just
at it
want to
and I was
know.
like,
Okay.
I didn't
Oh,
want to
okay.
know, but you told me, so all
Well,
right.
I guess that happens. Okay,
But I
But
but
think for sure. I think we're hopefully gonna get at least a mega leg, at least like not this
mm,
episode, but next episode. Some. I think we're gonna have a long leg of a race. So hopefully.
whatever happens, I'm gonna be sitting there watching it because I'm excited and I am enjoying the season very thoroughly. And I hope you guys are watching and enjoying it too, and enjoying our coverage on it. We appreciate you watching. Um, hit the subscribe button if you are enjoying us, because we really appreciate it. We're on our mission to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. So we would appreciate your support. Help us out. Please subscribe. And you can subscribe to all of our channels because all of the Cup Network is on that same mission. So all the links will be in the description below, as well as our audio podcast link to check us out on the go, as well as our Patreon to join us and to get some exclusive content and some early access and some fun things that we do behind the scenes. And you can follow us on all of our socials at the Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And you can follow the four of us on those platforms as well if you want to do that. That would be great. And also get your merch at LanaG'sCreations.etsy.com. Don't you move, Jack. It's all right. LanaG'sCreations.etsy.com. You're
Oh,
so
I
wild.
gotta zoom
You're
in.
so
I
wild
did my
for that.
dishes.
It's okay, Jack. It's cool. But get your cup merch, the cup or any of our other merch that's there. And we're gonna get out of here because we're done, I guess, unless we have anything else we want to talk about. I don't think
No.
so. No, that's it for us. Then y'all know what to do. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. When I can push the button, when the button happens, now.